Hello, Federal viewers. Welcome to a live chat with Senior Advocate Ms. Sudha Ramalingam of the Madras High Court. She is also activist, social activist, and human rights activist. She fights against custodial torture. Ma'am, welcome to the chat.
You're welcome. Welcome also. Thank you for this.
Yeah. Ma'am, a 29-year-old a security guard has been tortured. Allegedly, he faced custodial torture and beaten to death by cops in Sivaganga district of Tamil Nadu. So the federal also accessed a video footage wherein we found the police were assaulting this young man Ajith Kumar. Can this video footage be treated as a direct evidence? How significant is this such visual evidence in custodial trials, ma'am?
Visual evidence has come to stay. Video footages can be used in any court of law, provided, of course, you will have to also show that they are authentic and not manipulated. That's the reason why CCTV cameras are made compulsory in every police station. In fact, I think hereafter we should even have the police officers to wear body camera itself, because things are going out of hand, and CCTV cameras footages from any video, if proved to be genuine, are definitely admissible in law, and they are very, very important too.
Okay. Okay. Hello, Federal viewers. Actually, we are talking to Senior Advocate Ms. Sudha Ramalingam. This is about a chat on a custodial torture case in Sivaganga district in Tamil Nadu. Actually, the federal accessed the photographs and the visuals and autopsy finding reports that provide compelling evidence to show that how police allegedly carried out this torture, and there were several internal external marks and to show the trauma and the stress faced by the young man Ajith Kumar. Actually, he was picked up for an interrogation by the police. Sudha ma'am, I would like to ask you, is it legal for the police to detain someone like, this in this case like Ajith, without formally arresting them? It seems to have happened with this case.
See, anyone could be taken to custody, and within 24 hours of their being taken to custody, they should be produced before the magistrate and their arrest be legalized. This is what the law says. And as far as the previous question is concerned, I also forgot to say even postmortems have to be compulsorily videographed when it is postmortem of a person who is died due to custodial death or encounter death. So video recordings are very, very essential in any criminal investigation and to prove any case. And as far as taking a person to custody is concerned, you can't be expecting the police to get a warrant first when there is a serious offense, if it's a cognizable offense. So definitely the police is given a leverage to take any person into custody for investigation, but he'll have to be produced before the nearest magistrate within 24 hours of his being arrested.
Okay. In this particular case of Ajith Kumar, the custodial torture victim, 5 policemen have been arrested in after Madras High Court intervened in this case. Ma'am, I would like to ask you, the Madras High Court has taken serious note of this case. How effective is judicial oversight in ensuring accountability in such trials, accountability in dealing with cases related to custodial deaths?
Definitely, it's very, very important. But you can't expect the Madras High Court or any High Court or the Supreme Court to be interfering at every stage, in every case. So we'll have to definitely evolve a system which would be foolproof. That's the reason why you have the guidelines which have been set out by the Supreme Court as early as 1997 in the D.K. Basu case. That the right of persons on arrest is very, very clearly given as commandments. They say that the duty of the police officers while arresting, they say that all police personnel should wear their tags clearly indicating their name and their designation, which none of them do these days. Police must enter the complete details of police officials conducting the interrogation and in a register. They'll have to so immediately also record these things in a register. Then they say that an arrest memo should be made. The police officer making the arrest has to prepare an arrest memo. This has to be done immediately. They cannot be dilly-dallying with it. The arrest memo must contain signature of at least one witness who can be relative of the arrestee or a respectable person of the locality. And this arrest should also be there. It should contain the date, time, and place of arrest. And such arrest should also be intimated to his next relative or friend. So there should be an inspection memo prepared. Then there is also the information about the arrested detention should be, as I told you, informed to the next relative. This should be done within 8 to 12 hours is what is being said. And there should be a daily diary which must be maintained by the police. And the arrested person will have to be medically examined. And the arrested person has a right to have a lawyer. So you cannot simply take a person and keep interrogating them in the absence of the lawyer. The lawyer may not have a right to talk there, but at least to his side will have to be there. This will ensure that there is no torture as such. And then the magistrate will also have to find out whether the person who is being produced before him has been tortured. He has got asked when he was arrested, where he was taken from custody from, and how he was treated during the period when he was with the police. That was within that 24 hours period. So the police control room should be set up in every district is what this DK Basu says. So DK Basu clearly gives us a commandment, guidelines, which was later also incorporated in the CRPC, which is also there in the present system, BNS and other BNSS, I think. So this is there. We have a set rule, but it is all obeyed no more in the breach than with its regular meaning and inputs.
Ma'am, actually, you have explained very clearly about the rights of the individual being, the rights of individual, what he could ask for, and when he is being interrogated by the police. What are the major flaws which you see in this case of Ajith Kumar, who faced the custodial torture? He was actually picked up by the police without giving any detailed information about the case, which concerns, which is meant to be, and he was not briefed properly.
See, keeping the person in ignorance is what is happening almost in every case. That's the reason why we are asking for CCTV cameras. But in the recent past, People's Watch came out with one RTI replies where they very clearly showed that they are not actually complying with the compulsory installation of CCTV cameras. More so in the higher officers' offices like the ACs, DCs, and the commissioners' offices do not really have the CCTV footage coverage as much as we would like it to be. So that this will clearly establish, and there are also district committees which have to be appointed, which would supervise about the functioning of these CCTVs. Nothing happens in this country because it is a common man, poor man, who is affected by all these things. And what is another thing which happens here is only the lower officers are being really taken to task. The higher officials who have the command responsibility should also be taken to task. In this case, we see that 5 policemen who are the constable or the SI level are being arrested, and the SP in charge is only kept on a compulsory wait. So this is how what happens is the persons at the higher level of the police machinery, the institution, escape, while the lower ones are really being taken to task. This also should be done away with. And unless there is a proper inspection and proper investigation done as per law, this is going to continue. The medical officers will have to really be careful when they are being produced after arrest, but before being produced before the magistrate. Most often they're not. Even in the Tirunelveli case, we found that they had so many injuries on them, the father and son duo, but nothing was recorded either by the medical officer or by the magistrate or even by the jail authorities. So there were 3 levels, but nothing happened. So unless at every level the officers are vigilant, this will not be the last case.
Actually, Federal recently published a video about how young men who were picked up in small petty cases, they are when they go into the prison, many cases their right leg or the left leg or right leg limb, in some cases both limbs are broken. So whenever judge ask about the broken limbs, police just tell them, the toilet was slippery. The bathroom was they fell and hurt themselves. How in how many cases is this possible for a judge to notice the victim who suffers this custodial torture?
See, I told you it is not just the judge, it is the the medical officer before whom every arrested person will be produced, and they have to be medically examined, and then only they are taken to the magistrate. So what happens to the medical officer? Does he not see the person fully? And then the magistrate is not burdened with too many people every day. He would only be having a few people who are being produced before them, and it is their duty to look at each of them, and it is also the duty of the medical officer and the magistrate to ask the policemen who are producing these arrested persons to stay outside. If the policeman is just there escorting him right inside the court or inside the clinic, you will not have an honest revelation by the victim. The arrested person cannot open his mouth in the presence of the policeman. So we'll have to ensure that they are inquired in the absence of the policeman, the escorting police person.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, when it comes to this post-mortem report, particularly in this case, multiple injuries have been revealed. What legal weight does a post-mortem report carry in to prove the custodial torture in the court?
Oh, it is the most scientific, logical evidence possible now. So that is the reason why also they say that all these custodial deaths or violence cases should be postmortems have to be videographed. And what happens is the postmortem report will also show the reason for such injuries caused on them. So there are also scientific evidence which are also, in case there is a poisoning, they would also send these things to the concerned forensic department. So you get the forensic evidence, you get a scientific evidence. The doctor in charge of the forensic examination, the postmortem examination, would be a capable a person who would be an expert in this field. So you get your expert opinion, who is not an interested witness. He is not interested in either prosecuting or getting punishment for X, Y, Z. He is only interested in telling the truth. So you get the truth out through an expert, which is very logical and scientific. It's very, very important.
Yes, ma'am.
It's
Ma'am, I
unassailable.
need your assistance in this. Yeah, ma'am, in the earlier case, which is popularly known as Satan Kulam custodial torture case in Tamil Nadu, actually that story was broke by the federal news portal. In that case, a father and the son, both of them were victims of custodial torture and death. Um, in that case, a police officer turned as a whistleblower, and she broke the information about this case. How to safeguard the rights of the whistleblowers who report these kind of custodial tortures, and how
Definitely, it's
important is
very,
this?
very, very important to ensure that whistleblowers are not being tortured. Human rights activists themselves defend the human rights defenders also face this torture, and we also do not really have, though there are guidelines to ensure that whistleblowers are not being harassed or victimized, but definitely it is not really being practiced. I know of cases where the whistleblower's name is dropped and publicized by the officers themselves. So this is something which we will have to sensitize, ensure that the whistleblowers are also one rewarded and two protected. Both are very essential, otherwise others would not turn to become whistleblowers. And unless we have whistleblowers from within, we cannot unearth many wrongs which are happening around us.
Fine, ma'am. Thanks very much for joining us in this chat about this custodial torture, and you also explained about the rights in every individual, whoever gets to meet the cop for an interrogation. So thanks much. And hello, federal viewers, please comment on this chat, and also follow the federal website for the live updates, important details on this Sivaganga custodial torture and other human rights issues. Thanks much, Sudha ma'am. Thank you, federal
You're
viewers.
welcome.